Hey guys, Dave from Nerdurky, for nerds by nerds. Hang out with these nerds.
Ted.
Ryan.
Today we're talking about what do you do when the neighbors get unruly, gold dragons and giants.
If you have a GM911, you can submit that to us over at nerdarchy@gmail.com, or you can head over to our forum on nerdarchy.com.
So our GM, don't call me Bruce, but we're going to call you Bruce anyway, has a problem because he said, he finished a story arc. He started the second story arc where the adventure party had seized the castle. They now own it. Next thing you know, they wake up in the middle of the night and there's a storm giant and a gold dragon slugging it out.
Giving each other noogies on the lawn.
Yeah, on the doorstep because they're fighting over the right to negotiate with this party.
So the DM gave them three options. They could side with the giants, side with the dragons, or say nuts to both of them and have to deal with both of them. They sided with the giants. So now they've got the party, an alliance of giants, having to go against the gold dragon and his dragon council, which consists of a dragon from each of the metallics.
I want to say this GM is really lucky because third party actually picked one of the options he thought of.
There you go.
And not option D.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I was using numbers and you guys used letters.
Yeah. we select option purple.
Yeah.
That's where they side with both of them and then
betray them both somehow.
Right. Yeah. All right. So for whatever reason, this castle is important to both parties. The giants and the dragons, they're willing to tussle over this. One of the things is that the GM brings up, he's like, I don't think the dragons would act like a red dragon and just incinerate the whole village or town to get to the players, and probably not. But I kind of see like this being maybe a lot of like Cold War type stuff and Cloak and Dagger, but in the meantime there's these negotiation channels that are open, and the dragons are constantly trying to convince them, no, you should side with us, you should give it to us.
So I think part of the issue is knowing what each of the parties' reason for wanting this castle.
Mm-hmm.
He mentions in the forum post that it's for strategic value, but what is that reason? Is it because there's an army on the other side that they have to deal with, or a party that threatens their particular way of life? If there's the possibility of allying with both of them and making for a betterment for all of them.
Are you suggesting timeshare?
Yes.
Timeshare agreement. Yeah, you have to listen to a speech or whatever for 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
And they get to stay at the castle for the weekend for free.
Yeah, they break you down until you sign up for the castle timeshare.
So what I'm looking at is what is the reasons beyond strategic value? Storm giants are good, gold dragons are good. Clearly, this could be negotiated to
Well, it sounds like they won the castle, so they just want the castle because they have it as theirs. But the other two are the one with the strategic reasons. But we don't know what those reasons are. And, that would be a good thing to explore. What does it mean for the giants or the dragons to not have this thing, that they've deemed strategically important to them? Ryan started talking about that a little bit. What is, essentially, what does that position mean? How is it going to affect the players? How does it affect the dragons? How does it affect the giants? Because all of that will probably determine, in part, their response.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were talking about there being Cold War type situations. I imagine for at least the first little while, the dragons are going to just want to negotiate. They're going to use words, and if whatever
envoys and things like that.
Right, and whatever, however dire need they have. Eventually it's going to come to that, and it's going to be, all right, we need this for this reason, even if they were kind of keeping things shadowed for what their real reason why they want the castle. Eventually that's going to come to light, and you're going to have to make a decision right then and there. Are you descending with an army of dragons into the castle for them to just claim it, or are you looking to go more akin to, all right, this is just a couple of dragons.
Diplomacy checks everyone.
Yeah.
No, So me and Ryan had a similar vein of thought, I believe, where you're saying, that they cut off the supply.
Eventually,
supply
it becomes a
routes.
siege.
Yeah.
Eventually, they'll kind of besiege the castle and the surrounding area.
And then I was like, my thought was kind of like, instead of an actual siege, where they actually create an economic siege, where the dragons are wealthy enough to be like, yeah, you don't want to sell stuff here, and just basically buy out any of the supply routes
merchants, yeah.
that the party would receive. Like, and also we don't know like what the surrounding.
Although it is a very hard thing for a dragon to part with its treasure. Like even good dragons are still have that avarice to them.
True, but if it comes back down to like how important
is that location? Yeah.
And that's kind of what you have to decide. Like, why is this so important to both the giants and the dragons, and how far is either side willing to go? Maybe they're not willing to take on the risk of bystanders being injured, but then that's where you lead to like cloak and dagger stuff. Are they willing to assassinate the party? Are they willing to?
Well, it could be too like older days of war too, where basically there would be a declaration of war and two armies would meet in the field, so you could have these sort of like titanic battles of like, all right, well, if you're not willing to do that, meet us on the field of honor at such and such a time. I mean, even into Revolutionary War period, like you had two factions that would get in lines and fire with each other with muskets or whatever. So it's like formal declarations of war and battle dates for battles happened. That was a thing.
The other thing to consider is that dragons do have that superiority complex. Dragons do, or at least for the most part, feel that they are superior to humankind. And if we're talking about this castle is just, being occupied by these roughly 5 mere mortals, it's holding up their goal for whatever reasons. They might just decide, well, we tried doing it in the nice way. We tried doing it the siege way, and you guys have lasted. It's time to bring them down.
Oh, the council just drops down on like 10 dragons.
Well, why not? I mean,
well, that's the other thing too. Like, if they've sided with the giants for whatever reason, one is what are they getting out of it, and two, how much are the giants willing to go to bat for the PCs as well?
right.
Like,
Well, I mean, the dragon and the giant were already physically fighting, so they'll probably still fight dragons. That probably sounds like a thing.
I agree, but that's not quite the same as a protracted war. With
Well,
someone else.
it's not about the PCs. It's about how important again is that location to the giants, right? Like, because that's really why they sided with the PCs in the first place. So it's about like their motivation as far as that too. Like, they were obviously willing to fist fight over it and maybe continue to do so.
Well, and then the other thing too is at some point you're gonna have to ask like, how important is this location to the PCs?
Yeah.
Well, like you got giants and dragons fighting over it. That might be a bad place to be.
Yeah, they should really talk to the realtor about that. Yeah. This neighborhood's really gone down.
It's gone down for sure. When Godzilla and King Kong are going at it, you don't want to be anywhere near that.
I could always, then put it up to the highest bidder.
You could, that's the other thing too. What made the PCs decide to go with the giants as well? So there's a lot of information that we kind of don't have. Yeah. That might be a little bit more, might be a little useful as well. But at the end of the day, so I would personally, I would go with, the dragons try and cut off anything coming in.
Cut off resources, yeah.
Cut off resources and, possibly a war by proxy.
Right. And then maybe failing that, like maybe a formal declaration of war could happen.
That would so suck, getting smacked in the face with a dragon gauntlet.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, really, you could have dragons so unrest of like, yeah, the dragons could go into the city and be like, have messengers say that the reasons why people are starving is because the player characters won't yield the castle. So like sowing civil unrest, rebellion, that sort of thing.
Oh, that would absolutely work. You could totally do that where, if they get enough of the population riled up, then instead of like they're maybe not even thinking about the dragons at this point because they're thinking about squashing a rebellion.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be a way to go as well. But I would like to know what you guys think and how you would handle it in your campaign. Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can buy some awesome swag over on nerdarchy.com.
And while there, maybe check out some articles.
So until next time, stay nerdy.